welcome to healthyhouseplants.com, where you learn all about gardening in the great indoors. Today we're going to talk about how I got a Dendrobium orchid to rebloom in my house. Today's video is also sponsored by our Amazon affiliate link, which you can see below. Okay, so I got this beauty a year ago for my birthday from my niece, Monique. And when she gave it to me, and it was, of course it was blooming, I thought, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. But to be perfectly honest, I have tried to rebloom some of the more difficult orchids, such as dendrobiums, indoors, and hadn't had all that much luck. I have had luck having Phalaenopsis rebloom, which is pretty much the easiest one. But the dendrobium's a little more difficult. So I didn't give up or anything, but honestly I was surprised when it started reblooming just recently. So it did take a year to do that, but it is reblooming, as you can see. Now, what did I do to get to that point? Well, first of all, I did give it bright light. It is next to an air garden, which has some nice LED lighting going on. And also, I have fertilized it, but only a couple of times. I do know that you want to fertilize them when they don't have flowers. So I did use a fertilizer, a liquid fertilizer, and I did it about probably 3 or 4 months after it bloomed once, and then once again a couple of months ago. And also, I do have it on a humidity tray, as you can see. In the humidity tray, I do have another video about how to create one, but you can see that it's on rocks here. And pebbles, you can use marbles. And what you do is you put water in. There was already water, but I'm just putting a little more in so you can see that. You put water into just below the rocks there, so that when the water begins to evaporate, it will humidify the plant. You always want to have it just below the rocks though, because you don't want the bottom of the plant sitting in water ever. You also see that this is an orchid bark, which you want to use. And the reason we use orchid bark is this. Orchids naturally grow in the jungle hanging from trees. They're terrestrial plants, so they don't actually grow in the soil. So the orchid bark is only being used to hold the plant upright so that it doesn't fall down or droop or whatever. So it's just basically to hold it upright. And the orchid bark has a lot of airspace in it, so you're basically replicating what would be happening in the jungle. That being said, the orchid bark over time will break down. As it breaks down, it becomes more like a heavy soil. At that point, you really need to repot the orchid. So in new orchid bark that is not broken down. So that's another thing to keep in mind. I will be doing that after this bloom cycle. You don't want to do anything to orchids when they're blooming, and even very much watering. You want to have them on the dry side when they're watering. And you also don't want to overwater orchids in general. So in terms of watering, another thing that I did, I watered it when it was just about dry, when the bark was just about dry. Not all the way dry, but very close to being dry. I always use warm water on houseplants, as I've mentioned in other videos. And you let the water run through, and then you make sure, like I said, it's not sitting in anything. So that's a whole thing that is important too, about keeping them watered correctly. And that is about it. So that is how I got this beauty to rebloom. I'm very excited about that. And I'm going to be branching out and trying some other harder to bloom orchids indoors here too. And I'll check back with you when I've done that. Thank you for watching today. Please keep enjoying gardening in the great indoors. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.